Hello, hello everyone. Hope you are having an absolutely beautiful day. My name is Sin. I'm the Grace Strega. I am a claircognizant tarot reader based in Jersey City, New Jersey. I'm so happy to be able to be here with you today and joining in the ability to read for you today. Thank you to everybody who's joining us. I'm also the founder of Tarot Church, which is a movement to encourage the utilization of the tarot to uncover universal messages of divine clarity, connection, and understanding, enhancing your personal relationship to a higher power across any and all interpersonal faith practices. So much looking forward to being able to read for you today. And as also, I'd like to let you guys know that if you're interested in anything that you learn here today, I'm also teaching a class later this evening at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern. We are going to be doing a class that is focusing on the High Priestess Tarot card. If you'd like to become a part of that class, all you need to do is become a subscriber over on my Substack, graystrega.substack.com. Your subscription will include access to that class, as well as all of the previous recordings to the classes that we've already taught. I'm so much looking forward to being able to read for you today. And if you'd like to be able to begin to ask your questions, all you need to do is put it in the comments. I will start to read for you. Again, specifically, we are doing readings based on life path, love, relationships, anything of that nature. Hi there, V. Good to see you today. Welcome. Thank you for joining us. And welcome to everybody who's been here today. I know that this Gemini season has been a little bit wild energetically, so I'm very much looking forward to it. We've also got that beautiful strawberry moon that's coming on the solstice, which is pretty exciting as well. Hi there, Terry. How are you doing today? So good to see you. Hi there, Sarah. Thank you for being here and joining us today as well. Hi there, Bumblebee. Hope you are having a beautiful day also. Hi there, Patricia. Welcome to everybody joining us. Hope you guys are having an absolutely beautiful day. Welcome, Natasha. Thank you guys so much. And I always love to know where you guys are coming in from as well. Hi there, Jessica. Good to see you back again. Thank you. Also, if you guys have joined me, if you follow me on TikTok, I also do a daily collective energy update. We had one earlier today. There's been a lot of progress that's been occurring throughout the frequencies, both the energies in divine union and in separation. Welcome, Lacey. So good to see you as well. Thank you for joining and thank you for those hearts. Hi there, Amy. Good evening to you as well. Hi there, Karen. Welcome. As I mentioned, if you guys have any questions that you would like me to read for, all you need to do is put them in the comments. I'll be happy to pull one of those, as many as I can in the time that's allowing. Hi there, Laura from Canada. Welcome. Hi there, Ashley. Welcome as well. Hi there, Helen. Thank you so much for joining us today. Hope you're having a beautiful day. As I mentioned, guys, we are going to get started. Just waiting. Hi there from Tennessee. Good to see you, Natasha. Excellent. Happy to read for you on that, Helen. First question that we have coming in from Helen is related to job. Can I please get 3 cards for Helen in relation to career, please? We've got 2 out. Oh, we've got 3 out. Let's take a look at what we've got. I mean, first things first, the first thing I'm seeing here, all of these cards are related to career. We've got immediately our 8 of Pentacles coming through. So this is saying to me that there is some kind of breakthrough that is going to be happening on the job front sooner rather than later. One of the things I'm seeing right now is now is a time to basically continue to move forward in this way, because I see that there is some of that frustration that's occurring right now and a lot of that energetic excitement. I need to also stress that we're in Gemini season. One of the things that we see that happens a lot in Gemini season is that challenge or that path work that's related to adaptability. Now, one of the things we want to be very focused on right now is making sure that that adaptability doesn't become changeability. Now is not the time. I know that even now there may be some of that frustration that's coming through. We've even been recognizing that some of this energy, I like to describe it in the way I've been describing it in the daily collective reads that we do over on TikTok as kind of prickly. Like it's those moments that you just feel that amplification of frustration. Allow yourself to move through this right now, because what I'm really seeing is this is giving me a little bit of that like pinnacle energy. So any of the work that you've been putting in this capacity right now, it's not being wasted. I see that this is something that is going to change very quickly, like almost a little bit faster than you might expect or anticipate. So continue forward right now in relation to how you are moving, because I'm even seeing right now that what is happening does not have so much to do with anything that you are particularly doing wrong, but it has more to do with the environment, which we're also seeing with, again, this 10 of Pentacles in its reversal. But we're actually really glad to see this 10 of Pentacles in its reversal, because this is saying to me that while there may be some frustration that's been occurring around here, they're saying to me that it feels like it can change very, very quickly. The important thing here, though, and this is what we want to avoid, is we want the situation and circumstance to change. We don't want you to come into that point of internalizing something that is externally occurring around you. So let this serve as confirmation that this work is going to pay off. And I see this happening sooner rather than later. This is saying to me that this is something that's going to make some kind of change, particularly within the next window of 2 months. I do want to give you some bottom of the deck information on this, Helen, just something to keep in mind as you go forward from this point. Like I said, I know that there's a little bit of that element that you're potentially feeling right now around that sense of giving up. There's a lot of change energy that is around you right now. But I want you to recognize and identify that just as some of this is feeling like it is oppressive at this moment, it can change very, very rapidly. I keep getting that message that says it only takes one right now. It only takes one. And I actually have some kind of feeling like I'm seeing here that there's something about this, that whatever this opportunity is, I feel like you've already done the work putting it forward. So this is saying to me that this is something that is actually already happening around you. You just can't necessarily see it just yet. So don't lose hope. Just keep on pushing forward, because I need to stress this, sometimes right before we're about to have that big change is that exact moment that we're just about to give up. So make sure that you don't give up. Continue to hold forward in this way, because I definitely feel like there's a lot of that moment of like getting through that that breakthrough point, or piercing that veil, if you will. Thank you so much, Helen, for having that reading with me. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who need these messages to be here to experience them. We are doing personal readings right now. If you would like to get on the list to be read for, just go ahead and put your question in the comments. Welcome to everybody joining us today. Hi there, Patricia. So good to see you. I would love to know if I should pursue the third project, please. Okay. What I'm going to do right now, since you said 3, I'm going to drop 3 cards here, one for each one. So we'll be able to assess and address where where all 3 of them are, if you will, if that helps. Okay. Can I please get 3 cards for Patricia around this project? I'm getting here a lot of energy of affirmation is what I'm seeing, especially because I feel like there's something about this right now that feels like the third project almost feels like a combination of the first 2. I'm almost getting like a little bit of a Goldilocks effect here, to be perfectly honest, because I see that there is that moment, this feels a lot to me like that act of refinement is what I'm really identifying that's happening here. And I think that one of the things that I'm also recognizing is this does feel like something wherein you are recognizing and identifying that you're learning as you go. And I need to also stress there's something really important that's coming through about this work right now that's helping you recognize that there aren't any failures in this. Like whatever I see that you're doing that I feel like you've been hitting those frustrations or those walls on, I feel like there's something about learning or being able to identify and recognize what works, what feels like it is adaptable, what feels like it is creating that positive. And I see even now that there's something about that third project, if you will, that feels like the culmination of the work that you've been doing thus far. Because this is saying to me that this feels like it's building off of that work. It's building off of that pathwork. It feels a bit of like that sense I'm recognizing and identifying here that feels a lot like that sense of trial and error, if you will. But that's that moment, and I need to stress this, when we hit a breakthrough point, that's that moment that we recognize and identify that there was no effective error around something. I'm almost seeing that that is that moment that you recognize that that was almost coming into that sense of understanding of the self in relationality to what feels like it works and what feels like it doesn't. I also need to say that there's something about that third project, if you will, that feels like it has a lot to do that allows for a bit more of your voice to be able to be heard. It feels more like something that feels like there's a space or place to be able to bring your own unique perspective perspective into something, wherein your insight, and I not only see the fact that I see you kind of speaking towards that to a certain degree, but I also feel like there's something about that being appreciated and recognized in that environment that effectively allows that to be the breakthrough, because it does feel like there's a little bit more of that sense of energetic collaboration around whatever I'm seeing in that capacity. I do want to give you some bottom of the deck information on this, just something to keep in mind going forward. This card does not want to leave the bottom of the deck today. You guys saw me shuffling. So I need to stress here, whatever you've been doing right now, I can see it. I feel like you've been very hard on yourself. I feel like you're holding that sense of anything that's not working right now from a point or a perspective of accountability. I need to I keep getting this messages coming through of understanding and recognizing that this hasn't been a moment of energetic failure here. This feels like in a way you've been coming to that point of failing better, right? Like the only way we find what works for us is almost by identifying that process of recognizing and understanding and appreciating what is not for us. So remember that right now. Don't feel frustrated at yourself if you feel like some of that landscape is shifting, because I almost see that your flexibility, your adaptability around something is the gift. Because I almost see that that's that recognition point of understanding that isn't you kind of trying to find the path. I feel like you've been on the path the whole time, and it's more just that moment of being able to recognize and identify that in that moment of coming into that point that works for you. It's like all of those lessons feel like they reach that culmination point, become that point of power of wisdom, if you will. Thank you so much for having that reading with me, Patricia, and thank you for confirming that the interpretation is accurate. It would allow me to learn as I go. I not only see that there's learning as you go there, but I also feel like there's a lot of energy around you in that way, in terms of kind of allowing you both to kind of be, I want to say, teacher and student, if you will. So thank you again. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who need these messages to be here to experience them. We are doing personal readings right now. If you would like to go again on the list, go ahead and put your question in the comments. I'll be happy to read for as many as I can in the time allowed. Love life going to change. Absolutely, Lynette. Can I please get 3 cards for Lynette in relationality to what's going on around love? 2 more, please, and 1 more. Thank you so much. Oh, we got an extra card here popping out. But I think you're going to like the card that was hidden here, because right behind, and I need to stress this is what your guides are saying right now. I feel like there's something that's happening for you towards love right now, that I actually feel like you've been concentrating and putting that love back into yourself to a certain degree. And I feel like even now there's something about you coming into that state of vulnerability, really understanding, really accessing, really kind of finding your voice, coming into that state of being your authentic sense of self. Your guides are basically saying right now, the path to finding partnership right now rests within. It rests within coming into that sense of authenticity, because I see even now, there's something about that path work wherein you're not becoming as changeable. You're not becoming as adaptable. And I think that you had to come into that process right now, because I feel like you've been through some kind of process of recovery here. Like you've been going through some kind of healing journey in relationality to some kind of energy that I see here. It feels like nothing that you could do was right? It felt like, I feel like, oh, there's almost something I'm seeing here that was requiring you to be extremely flexible, be very adaptable, constantly having to change to a certain extent. And I actually feel like a lot of this path work that I see that you've been navigating right now has a lot to you about you kind of coming into that sense of accepting yourself, coming into that sense of really valuing and appreciating your authenticity. Recognize and understand that a good partnership for you right now isn't going to require you to step away from your authentic sense of self. It's going to help you feel empowered within that space. And I see even now, this is almost that call I'm seeing about really being able to find your voice, because I almost see here, it feels to me that something I see about this experience right now, it's almost like I see you kind of moving forward saying I don't need it. I see you holding it with a very open palm, but that's exactly, I feel like, why you're effectively ready, because I see you kind of going back and forth saying am I ready for this? Am I ready to kind of go through that process again? If you're feeling that point of trepidation, and you're even feeling that point of saying to oneself, I don't really know if I need that, that's probably a good indication that you're actually ready for it, because I feel like I just see a lot of that concentration right now is allowing you to be in that vibration that you're not necessarily like moving forward seeking like any type of energetic companion or any type of energetic partnership. I almost see that that moment of finding yourself, really valuing your time, effort, and energy right now is creating the level and degree of discernment required to understand that, like, even if you meet someone right now, if your authentic version of self moves someone away from you, recognize that that is your authentic version of self doing you a solid, if you will, because it's helping move the energy away from you, that is almost showing you that that would be kind of a little bit of that path. Like, that wouldn't change. Like, that's not something that's going to improve upon itself. That's that moment that you recognize that that higher version of self like protects in the moment that it's able to like make itself apparent, because it's helping the energy around you like understand and recognize what's not for you. If you're not everyone's cup of tea, that's a good thing here, is what I'm really seeing. Bottom of the deck is, I know, I feel like there is this, it's interesting too, because I feel like there is some kind of lingering energy around you to a certain extent. It feels like the type of energy that's trying to like bring you back towards them. If that's occurring right now, I want you to recognize and understand, especially if there was any volatility there, the difference between an energy that wants to kind of return back to the status quo that you had with them versus an energy that is able to take accountability and recognize and understand what they themselves need to change in order to facilitate a healthy, positive connection. Because I see even now that there's a little bit of that like energy that you're recovering from that feels like a little bit of that projection outwards, like some kind of feeling of dissatisfaction that was being kind of put forth towards you. Recognize and understand that being able to heal something is always a two-way street. Just as we are ready to take accountability for what we need to change, we also need the partners to be able to understand and recognize what they need to change to be able to facilitate a healthy, positive connection. I feel like someone's moving towards you with that authenticity, if that's occurring in relationality to kind of wanting to rebuild something. The more important question is asking whether you see the change that is necessary in terms of them identifying and recognizing what they need to change in their self in order to allow for that to be an effective change, or if it's just going to feel like a repetition of an old cycle. Thank you so much, Lynette, for having that reading with me. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who need these messages to be here to experience them. We are doing personal readings right now. If you'd like to get on the list, go ahead and put your question in the comments. I'm happy to pull some cards for you. If you're just joining us, hello, my name is the Grace Strega. I am a claircognizant tarot reader based in Jersey City, New Jersey. Hi there, Laura. How are you doing today? How come I can only connect with spirit when I sleep? How can I do it when I'm awake? Oh, that's a good question. All right, let's get to it. I love that question, actually, Laura. Can I please get some insight as to why there's a blockage right now? What's with the connection about the sleep versus being awake? One more, please. Thank you. Oh, we got 4 cards coming out. We're going to read all of them because that's what we do. You're reaching a point of equilibrium when you're asleep, Laura. You're reaching a point of equilibrium when you sleep. There's something about your ego I'm seeing here when you're in your present context that's almost like blocking something. That ego, I'm getting here that message that the egoic state is basically going dormant when you kind of fall go into a restive state. It's almost like your guardrails come down. That egoic sense of self I'm seeing here, like there's a lot of that energetic, I want to say, and I want to recognize it feels like it's a little unconscious here. It just feels like a little bit of that guardrail that pops up when you come into conscious being. This is very common too. This is work, and this is again why we do this type of work, especially around meditation practices or even working through divination arts. The ability to effectively kind of allow those boundary points to kind of like move past like the mind. That's something that we can cultivate. That's something that we can work on expanding when we are consciously awake. But to a certain extent, one of the reasons that they're there to a certain extent is recognizing and identifying that our adaptability to experiencing that to a certain degree. It's easier facilitated in the dream state because it almost feels like, and I feel like your guides are almost saying to me, like it's a little bit of a testing ground for you, if you will. Because I actually see the fact that like you connect, like you're remembering your dreams. I'm seeing here, you're having a lot of these lucid dreams. I feel like I can see the fact that you're taking back a lot of messages in that dream state. So one of the things that you can effectively try to do right now, I'm actually seeing is they're saying to me, any type of meditation practice that you can take on prior to going into a sleep state or coming out of a sleep state, almost trying to stretch that liminal space, if you will, that's going to be like a good way to start to try to, I want to say, dissolve those barriers that I see are coming through. And I need to stress here, guides are saying, they're there for a reason. I can see that you're frustrated about them, but they're even saying to me, they lower those slowly because they don't want to overwhelm. You know what I mean? They don't want to overwhelm. The guides always it's really interesting. A good guide always will do something in a slow manner because they only want to provide something that feels like it's going to amplify, enhance, or make an experience better without creating anything that feels like it's too much energetically. So the more that you can kind of create a space or place, a presence within your own awakened practice state, like your own moment of being of wakefulness, where you're effectively almost allowing that moment of saying I'm ready to experience that in this setting. That is something that you can start to do in cultivating a practice for yourself, where again, you're almost allowing your guides to recognize and understand that you're kind of you're in a state or space where you're trying to allow for that to occur while being very cognizant and present of it occurring. And in that way, I feel like you can kind of start to I want to say energetically test those boundaries, if you will, or start to allow for those walls to ease while still in that conscious state. It'll be a little easier, they're saying, right before you go into sleep and right after you come out of it. Bottom of the deck. I love the fact it's Gemini season. We're getting repetition of cards. I've been having this happen wild all through the month. You've got a really strong guide presence here. And that's the thing. This is saying to me that one of your guides is actually, they're saying to me that there's an ancestral guide here that watches over you. And especially, I want to say, especially some of the more ancestral guides, they'll be a little bit more careful or conscientious in that way because they want, again, it's that sense of not wanting to overwhelm you. I feel like you're even potentially getting a lot of spirit messages in dream, or someone some energy on the other side who's trying to communicate with you in that capacity. Oh, okay. But just keeping in mind there that I'm seeing really specifically that is someone who's there and effectively willing to work with you. But again, it's more like you being able to observe and articulate that is something that you desire. Thank you so much, Laura, for having that reading with me. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who need these messages to be here to experience them. We are doing personal readings right now. If you would like to get on the list is open. You can go ahead and put your question in the comments. I'll be happy to read for as many as I can in the time allowed. Hi there, Martine. So good to see you. Love and light to you as well. Anything from guides today about upcoming new friends and opportunities. Love nature and care for many animals dearly and clairsentiently. And clairvoyant and clairsentient. Thank you so much. Can I please get 3 cards for Martine? 3 cards for Martine about what they can expect moving forward. Highest priority messages from Spirit, please. Thank you so much. Oh, I mean, I feel I need to stress here, a lot of this is saying to me, I feel like there's this period that you're coming through right now. I feel like you're coming out of some kind of hermit period here. I feel like there's been some of this energy that I see that you've been kind of moving into solitude, but I think you're also recognizing and identifying the power and the ability to be in solitude has to be regulated by that ability to connect with others to a certain extent. And I see even now, one of the things that they're really amplifying is it says to me that there is something about this right now that is going to require a little bit of that energetic practice on your part. Because I'm seeing here, you have that tendency of going inward. You have that tendency of really enjoying one's own, one's own, I want to say one's own frequency to a certain extent. This is saying I feel like a lot of this is actually saying to me, it's really interesting. I see you taking on some kind of additional project or work right now that is going to help facilitate and build those outside energetic connections. Because And I feel like it's interesting because it's funny that you articulated it to me about making connections on a personal level, but I see in a way here, this feels like a little bit of a passion project. I don't know if this is some kind of call towards volunteering or somewhere that you're going to be like giving your time, effort, and energy, because it feels like that sense of being able to not only build those connections, but it also, I see you working in some capacity in that way, almost giving back in some way. And I feel like this is actually like serving multiple needs in that way, because I'm almost seeing that like it's clearing some of that resistance point. It's giving some kind of like external reason to be in an environment where you can connect with those that you feel that alignment to a certain degree. Because I do feel like there's something about the way that you move forward that it can be a little energetically difficult for you to connect. And they, the guides are basically saying to me, that is, that is very normal. Like that is very normal for someone. I want to say that they want to say that they're saying to me that moves through like both worlds so easily, right? Because it's like I almost see you having like a foot in each world to a certain extent. So I like this because I actually see it feels like something that you're going to be doing in proximity to your own community or your own area. And it feels like something that you're tangibly giving back. Like it feels like there's a lot of grounded energy there. So I almost see you doing something with your hands or doing something in some kind of practice environment or some kind of setting of being able to like lend service, if you will, but also that there's a lot of beautiful connections that I see that are resulting as a result of that work. I do want to give you some bottom of the deck information on this, something to keep in mind going forward. This is the third card. This card is bottom of the deck. You guys have been seeing me shuffle. So, I really, it's interesting. I feel like you are someone who doesn't, I want to put it this way. I don't see a lot of energy around you as it relates to external connections, because I see that you are someone that values quality over quantity. And that's perfectly okay. Don't feel hard on yourself about that, because I see even now there's something about your own energetic frequency that you really need the type of energy that I want to say recognizes and values your sensitivity and goes through a lot of work of energetically protecting it. You know what I mean? Like it's like I can see the fact that you kind of require that energy that's just as scrupulous about how they maintain their own stability or their own energetic frequency. Remember that right now. Don't get frustrated at yourself, because I just keep hearing your guide saying quality over quantity over quantity. Because I see even now, I feel like I see the fact that there's a few new energetic connections that you make right now, but I just see those becoming like these really beautiful, deep explorations of individuals, because that says to me like that's almost the hallmark of like true energetic connections. Like you're not someone who really can navigate or even has time, effort, or energy to have a lot of those like surface level connections. And if you get frustrated at yourself for that, that's because of like, I want to say the depth or the level or the degree of like intensity that you kind of crave or seek in an energetic connection. Thank you so much, Martine, for having that reading with me. And thank you for confirmation. Yes, it needs to feel right and matching. Done a lot of work. I can see that. So let that serve as a sign to me, because again, I just keep seeing quality over quantity, quality over quantity. But I see even now, like this is saying to me that I feel like there are a few like new energetic connections that you're making that feel like they're really going to be enhancing and building upon your current experience. Thank you so much, Martine. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who need these messages to be here to experience them. We are doing personal readings right now. If you have a question you would like me to answer, just go ahead and put it in the comments. Hi there, Sarah. So good to see you today. Having a down day. 2 significant anniversaries. Oh, I'm sending you so much support. Sounds to me like you might need some highest priority messages from Spirit. Can I please have 3 cards for Sarah, 3 cards for Sarah, highest priority messages from Spirit. Thank you so much. I see it here. Sarah, I see even now, I feel like there's something about this path work right now. It feels bittersweet. It really, I can see that it feels very bittersweet. Because I keep seeing that there's some kind of energy. I mean, one of the messages I'm getting right now is that they're not missing anything. They're right there with you. They're right there with you, like every moment. I mean, I'm just getting some kind of energy here that is articulating to me that they're closer than you think. Specifically because, you know, I can see what's so difficult about this is I feel like there's something around you that's moving in a positive way. And I can even see and feel it because it feels to me like you're having to walk this like space or place where there's a lot of this positivity happening, but there's also like this, like I want to say it feels like that gap. It feels like that energy of something or someone that is missing there, but and if this is the case, I need you to know that whoever this is, they feel they're there. You just can't, I just keep getting you can't see them, but they're right there. You know, and I keep getting this message of someone just saying that they're celebrating with you. Like they're celebrating with you because, and I have to say that your own ability right now to persevere, whatever this was, like that is the celebration point. Like I can even see here, like it feels like I keep getting this like energy of like happy but so sad, like happy but so sad. I want you to really think about something to help you with this right now is recognize that when we talk about a heart opening exercise, that's effectively what we want to identify. I really want you to visualize imagine that your heart just expanding to a certain extent and being able to make enough room for everything that you're feeling at this moment, especially if you feel like you're moving back and forth between those polarities. Like if 1 minute you feel happy or elated, and then something about this is coming through that like makes you almost feel sad or upset about feeling that elation. I want you to recognize that your heart does not need to expand upon the choice of feeling just one thing or another. The beauty of a heart is that it has room to experience everything that is feeling, even if it's muddy, even if it's complicated. So I really want you to practice on that meditation of imagining of your heart just getting bigger, like getting big enough to hold the room for everything that is carrying right now. Because I keep seeing here that there's no energy here that's holding you accountable in any capacity except for your own self, and being able to make room for how much it has taken to move forward in this way. Like that is that moment that you kind of recognize the beauty and value of a heart that can grow. And that's the point of like not closing off or not preventing oneself from feeling something, but almost recognizing the beauty of how far your heart can expand to be able to navigate all of that territory. Bottom of the deck on this reading right now, I can see that anger. I can see that frustration. I can see that, like, I can see some of that bitterness that's coming through on this right now. I want you to recognize that's okay. It's, and they're saying to me, it's okay to feel that. It's okay to have those moments. And that's what I'm even talking about with this heart expansion, that ability to recognize and say that when you're having that moment, it's okay just to allow yourself to feel it. Like, let it kind of, like, let yourself navigate it and just recognize that you can allow that feeling to pass. Like almost, it's like, I feel like there's those moments that you try to push it off. I feel like it's almost that moment of just allowing yourself to be in stillness and to allow that frustration and anger to kind of wash over you to a certain extent. And then recognize that if you allow it to feel its full expansion point, it's going to run out. And behind it, there's just love. Like when you let the emotion run through you, as long as you don't carry it, as long as you don't project it onto others, if you just allow yourself to feel it in its full expansion point, it's going to, like they're saying to me, it's going to empty itself. And on the other side of it, you're going to find the love, because the love is what is permanent. and the anger and the fear and the frustration is what is temporary. That's why that comes in waves. Thank you so much, Sarah, for having that reading with me. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who need these messages to be here to experience them. We are doing personal readings right now. If you would like to get on the list is open. Just go ahead and put your question in the comments. I'm happy to read for you. And just reading over Sarah's comments, my heart chakra is blocked. I've been trying so hard to open it. Don't feel like you have to force it. Remember, the way we clear a heart chakra is just allowing ourselves to really feel what we're feeling. And even if we feel that blockage, let yourself feel the blockage. Don't feel like you have to force what you're feeling. Just allow yourself to just be attentive and mindful of what that feeling is. Thank you so much, Sarah, for having that reading with me, and I wish you the best of luck on your journey. Hi there, Gwendolyn. So happy to read for you. Can I move forward with my journey? Can I please have top priority messages for Gwendolyn right now? Top priority messages in relationality to their journey. Thank you so much. They're saying to me, you already are. They're saying to me, you already are. I know, I feel like a lot of this frustration is wanting to bring someone with you here. You know, here's the thing. Recognize and identify that I'm getting here, the guys, all you can do is everything that you can do. Continuing forward in the way that you are, they're saying to me, you're already doing it. What I really feel like is happening right now is that I want to say, is that desire for I keep seeing that desire for someone to step forward here. Some desire, I'm kind of saying someone getting their head, like putting their head back on their shoulders to a certain extent. You know, if this is the case, you know where she's, they know where to find you. You know, they know where to find you. And they're really saying to me that that's not a space or place. Like, have you ever tried to chase after a butterfly? When you're trying to chase after a butterfly, the way you chase after a butterfly is not to go chasing after it. You'll never catch it. The way that you do is you just kind of go about your own business. You create that environment. You create that sense of saying, you know where to find me. I welcome you in whenever you're energetically ready. Because I see even now, this is like a pathwork of resistance. The more you push, the harder someone's going to push back. But if you just leave, I want to say that open palm here, extended, like that's all you need to do. You don't need to push that. You just need to, they're saying to me, you need to amplify the love that you're meeting and matching that resistance with. And that isn't coming from a state of denial. That isn't coming from a state of argumentation. That is almost that moment of being able to reaffirm what's truly important to you, and almost that assurance of what someone can expect if and when they make the choice to return back towards something here. Because I see even now, this is temporary. You've got some guide on the other side. There's some kind of maternal energy on the other side that's saying they're saying you did it too. Like this is a temporary thing that's happening right now. And I think that even now I can almost see you kind of chasing after someone, trying to articulate to them. They have to come into that on their own. That is a part of their journey. And so the most that you can do is almost tell them and say to them to a certain extent, when you are ready, remember that door is open. I'm almost seeing water under the bridge, continue to amplify to them that nothing, that whatever that is, it doesn't, there's nothing there that is needed to be, I want to say no apology. I mean, there probably will be some apologies necessary, because I see that there has been a little bit of frustration here, but almost that moment of just re-amplifying and reasserting how your priority isn't in what has been said, but just the fact that you are always there for someone. And I think that your own ability of recognizing and identifying it, holding forward in that way, continuing to kind of meet them energetically with a point of compassion and love, it's going to come forward. It's just going to take a little bit of time. Okay. Bottom of the deck on this reading right now. They're going through some imbalances right now. I feel like, and I think you need to recognize, I feel like there's some moments right now where they're going through some experiences that I feel like it'd be too hard to explain. This is really saying to me that someone is really on a pathwork of trying to find balance in their own life. And I feel like there's that moment where I feel like they're going through something right now. And it's just that feeling of not being in a place or space where they feel like you would understand. And I think that that's even more of that sense of like, again, I need to stress saying to someone always judgment-free zone, like judgment-free zone, because the more you're able to amplify to them that whatever these things are, they don't matter so much as the connection matters, the easier it's going to be when that day comes for them to be able to come forward to you when they're able to recognize and understand. Because I see even now, and I want to say, don't meet that. If that energy feels like there's something about taking accountability there, inhabit their truth, recognize what they're saying. And then again, allow that to be a moment of being able to, like, I want to say, approach things with a sense of compassion and curiosity, as it were. Because this does say to me it's going to fix in time, but you just need to give it a little time. You don't want to push in this capacity right now. That if you let them know that home is there, they will come back towards it. Thank you so much, Gwendolyn, for having that reading with me. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who need these messages to be here to experience them. We are doing personal readings right now. If you would like to get on the list is open. It is happy to read for you. I have so many questions. And again, thank you so much for confirming that has to do with some familiar work. And again, I see here that just giving that some time, Gwendolyn, everything will be fine there. Just a reminder to anybody joining us today, I'm the Grace Strega. I'm a claircognizant tarot reader based in Jersey City, New Jersey. I'm also the founder of Tarot Church, which is a movement to encourage the utilization of the tarot to uncover universal messages of divine clarity, connection, understanding, and enhancing a personal relationship to a higher power across any and all interpersonal faith practices. Hi there, Bumblebee. So good to see you today. Question, how do I go about changing my home life situation? All right. Can I please get 3 cards for Bumblebee in relationality to how to change the home life situation? We've got 4 cards coming out, Bumblebee. What do we have coming through here? Somebody, I think that there needs to be a conversation about timing. There needs to be some kind of routine put into play here. Because I just keep seeing that there's something about this right now about someone navigate, and I feel like this is you having to work with someone to a certain capacity, someone who like has a tendency of feeling overwhelmed very easily. The best way to navigate overwhelm is to come into a point of planning. And I see even now, it almost feels like that sense of having to put some kind of plan in place, having to almost help facilitate or help someone in this way, because it feels a little bit like someone who's like trying to like boil the ocean to a certain extent, someone who kind of looks around and they see so much that needs to be done that they almost come into that modality where they can't do anything. So this says to me that a lot of the work that needs to be facilitated here almost needs to be, and again, either implementing some kind of routine, or routines, plural, but also helping someone prioritize, like helping them recognize how to prioritize, if you will, like understanding and recognizing that when they feel that sense of overwhelm, I'm almost seeing like you have to write it down. You've got to write it down. Like this has gotta be. Because I see even now that there's something about this that once you hit, whoever this is, if this is you or someone that you live with, when they hit that moment, it's already too late. I'm already getting it's already too late, right? Which is why there needs to be some of this energy of preparation, like preparing for the day ahead, preparing for the week ahead, almost coming into that moment of being able to sit someone down and say, okay, this is what the week is going to look like. This is what tomorrow is going to look like. And it does require, I want to say, a little bit of gentle hand holding here. I also want to say, if this is something that you're struggling with, I want to see if you can almost navigate or find someone that you can partner with who is going through these same hurdles or obstacles so that you can do this for each other together. Because I just keep seeing that there's something really important about this, about you having an energetic presence there. like an actual presence to keep you, to keep you on task, if you will, to help you recognize and not, I want to say, not kind of feel like everything needs to get done and then be like, I don't know what to do next, but almost help you kind of maintain that focus. They're also saying to me, not only do they want you to have a to-do list right now, they want you to start maintaining a got done list. Because I see even now there's something about the fact that your to-do list is never done that is creating that exhaustive point. So I want you to start celebrating those moments by also writing down what you have accomplished during the day, because that ability to observe, to see the accomplishments is going to be just as rewarding. It's going to help amplify and not make you feel like nothing got accomplished because your list is still there. It's going to really kind of show you that progress has been made, because that's like, I see here, there's something about the way that you work that like the pile is never done. So seeing that everything that you got done is going to help amplify that, yes, in fact, progress is occurring. Bottom of the deck on this reading right now is the Queen of Wands. Like I said, there is, I need to stress this. I feel like there's something about this. I almost feel like you do this for others. It's giving me the little energy of like, physician, heal thyself. Like someone who's very good at doing this for others, but when it comes to their own self, it's like, it starts to feel like a little bit of that, like, exhaustion point, because they're saying to me, you put that out for everyone else. And that's why I see even now that ability of potentially finding someone who can effectively kind of act in that way for you, something that almost creating that presence for one another to help motivate each other in this way, like someone that you almost have to hold accountability towards, like that may help in that way, because that's that moment of recognizing that, like, it's really easy to be flexible with the self. But when you recognize that you have to kind of bring that forward to someone else, that sometimes changes the scenario. Thank you so much, Bumblebee, for having that reading with me. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who need these messages to be here to experience them. Prior to us continuing, I just wanted to remind you, if you're here today, I'm actually offering tarot classes. So one of the things I'm also doing right now is in that work and tarot church, I'm focusing on educating those in the tarot. If you're interested in learning more about the tarot, we actually have a live class that is happening this evening at 6 p.m. PST, 9 p.m. Eastern. So far on our tarot journey, we have focused on educating on the Fool card and the Magician. Our next class will be focused on one of my favorite cards in the tarot, the High Priestess. If you're interested in becoming a part of that classwork, all you need to do is head over to my Substack, graystrega.substack.com. Becoming a paid subscriber to my Substack will grant you entry into that live class today. You'll also have access to all of the recordings and course materials for the previous classes. You'll also have access to a one-on-one chat with me and the other students to ask any questions that you may have in tarot and anything that we're learning. And if you become a founding member to the Tarot Church, not only do you receive a discount on the full year's worth of classes, but you also receive a one-on-one free mentorship class with me, where we will ascertain where you are on your own particular tarot journey, and I'll give you the best insights in terms of how to move forward in your own practice going forward. One of the things I tried to do with these classes is I really tried to focus them to make them usable to both the absolute novice tarot reader as well as the seasoned reader. There's definitely something there for everyone. So thank you so much. I hope that they'll join me there. And even if you don't become a paid subscriber to my Substack, I would encourage you to follow me there to be able to get my weekly newsletter that lets you know when I am online live doing my free daily collective readings, as well as any new offerings or giveaways that I may be holding. We're also doing a giveaway for a free tarot reading, and you can find the link for that over on my Instagram, Gray Strega, GreyStrega. That is going to be, go to my link tree, there's a 2-minute travel survey there. Filling out that survey will grant you access to that free reading. Thank you guys so much. We're going to continue forward in this way. You're so welcome, Bumblebee. I'm so glad that that message related to you. And as I said, if you guys have would like a reading right now, just go ahead and put your question in the comments. I'm happy to continue to read. Hi there, Elmarie. How are you doing today? Can I get a card regarding my work circumstances, please? Absolutely. Can I please have 3 cards for Elmarie? What do they need to know in capacity for their work right now? Oh, I mean, I'm seeing here that there's something about this. It feels a little bit like a repetition of a cycle. I keep on seeing here I mean, it feels like there is some kind of progress here, but the problem is it feels like a little bit of that glacier effect. I'm seeing here, it almost feels like 2 steps forward, 1 step back, 2 steps forward, 1 step back. Having that perception right now, I think is really important because I see even now, it feels like there's a little bit of that energy around you in this capacity. I can see why this is frustrating. I can see how there's something here that's either slowing down or it feels like it's being energetically delayed to a certain extent. Um, I have to kind of say, if this, and I see there's a lot of strong energy around 3 here. So I don't know if there's been something about this occurring over the last 3 years or something that they're asking you to be a little bit more patient on. But, you know, I have to say, it feels a little bit like something that you've already seen has been somewhat cyclical, you know? Like I even kind of see this here. And I also have to stress if this is something about a situation or circumstance or advancement, I think the problem about this is the fact it feels like it's like one person out for someone to come in. And I almost feel like I can see this type of expectation of you kind of waiting. Like I can literally see you being like waiting because you're just like, everybody keeps telling you that something's going to happen, yet it's not energetically happening. I mean, I have to stress here, if this is something, this definitely feels like it's not, this doesn't feel like it's changing immediately. It feels like I have to stress, it feels like if there's going to be change around this, it's going to require you to be there for quite some time, because I'm almost seeing here too, it's not the fact that, it's not the fact that, I'm getting here. It's not the fact that I'm seeing here that there isn't going to be some kind of breakthrough, but it feels like it's long time coming. So I would just be a little mindful of that, because I see even now, it doesn't feel like it's energetically ideal, but I also see the fact that I kind of see you like, asking oneself, like, I feel like there's something about this. So you feel like you have to, like, it's worth the wait, or you have to wait to a certain extent. Just recognize and identify that if there's something here that you're asking yourself, if that's going to happen sooner or later, I feel like that's something about this feels like it's getting extended longer. But that's, like I said, because I keep getting someone out and someone in. Like it's like that moment. It's like, I see it's out of your hands to a certain extent is what I'm seeing. They're literally saying to me, it's a bit of a waiting game. Bottom of the deck on this. I feel like what's difficult about it too is it feels like it's putting you in a state of not being in like the most ideal place while you wait. You know what I mean? Like it feels a lot like that moment of energetic frustration, because it doesn't feel like there's that certainty or that sureness in relation to something moving in that way. I don't know why they keep saying to me, but they keep articulating something about 3 years here. So I don't know if there's been 3 years that's already occurred here, or if there's something that's happening in 3 years, but they're saying that number is really valuable and important. And I think the important thing about this is, whether you feel that sense of energetic contentment at the moment, because it says to me that that's not something that feels like it's changing immediately. It's almost like creating that sense I see here about you saying, like, I can't do this much longer because it's too uncomfortable, as it were. So just like, I think you might need to like articulate that in some way to see if there's something that they can do in your present circumstances that would make something energetically easier. Thank you so much. Oh, I see that you've responded. I have back problems. They know I'm in pain and push me to my limits. I am so sorry. Thank you. Okay. Thank you for confirming what I was seeing there. And I see even now, I feel like, again, it does feel a little bit like kind of like a squeaky wheel requiring grease situation. I don't think that there's anything here that's wrong about you articulating that. I feel like there's something about this that is almost requiring you to, because it feels like something that like someone is just kind of like continuing to push forward on, it's required. Like it's like if you don't articulate for the change, it's not going to come, is what I'm basically saying. So continue, like, let that serve as confirmation if you're doing that it feels like that's definitely the direction that you need to move in right now. Thank you for confirming that reading to me, Elmarie. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who need these messages to be here to experience them. Hope you guys are having a beautiful day. I'm the Grace Strega. We're doing personal readings right now. If you would like a question answered, just go ahead and put it in the comments. Cards on future relationship. Can I please have 3 cards for Rosemary in relationality to future relationships? I mean, I think that one of the important things that's happening right now in relationality to relationship has to do with a little bit of pickiness here. I just see, I think that one of the things about this, I see that there's a lot of opportunities right now coming towards you for relationships, but that's why the guides are saying right now, you have to be very picky. And a lot of this pickiness that I see right now is really working on making sure that you're articulating what your manifestation goals are in relationships going forward. Don't assume that you and another individual are on the same page unless they are saying that you are on the same page, is what I'm really seeing. Specifically because I see that there's a lot of energy around you, like demanding attention. I feel like this summer specifically is going to be a lot of new energetic connections that are potentially coming towards you right now. And I see to a certain extent, like I see you ready to experience them. I feel like you have had some kind of breakthrough recently that is allowing for that sense of moving forward and being energetically ready to do so. So not only do I see a lot of new energetic connections coming towards you in this way, but I also see that there's something about your own confidence that has been boosted to a certain extent, that you're really kind of out there and ready to kind of like, do that work in facilitating the connections. Again, they're saying this really, really strongly. I'm going to just stress this right now. This has been coming through heavily, even in our daily collective reads that we do every day on TikTok. One of the things to focus on right now is remembering and recognizing that receiving a manifestation goal, getting that sense of understanding and recognizing where something is going, is not an accomplishment to be received after an energetic connection is formed. It is a requirement in order to facilitate whether there should be one that is created at all. So make sure that you're doing that work right now and let that be the pathwork of discernment. If you're moving towards energy right now and you know what it is that you're seeking in partnership, let that be what you're manifesting. Let that be the articulation of saying, I'm manifesting energy that knows what it is that they want and is able and ready and willing to articulate it. Because I keep seeing that there's something about your own pathwork, about not wanting to feel like you're having a relationship where someone is building around you. If you want to kind of build those connections points where you really feel like someone's building with you, it requires the ability of the energy to be able to articulate what that is, what the shape of it would look like, recognizing and understanding that by articulating what it is that we aspire for in partnership, we're not promising that in the energetic connection. But what we are doing is we're showing via our actions that we are willing to come into a place of authenticity to make sure that the manifestation goals align prior to building an energetic or passionate connection. I do want to give you some bottom of the deck information, just something to keep in mind going forward. None of this confusion space. Absolutely not. Remember, if you're moving towards energy and they feel like they're creating confusion in something as simple as trying to understand and articulate and identify what is occurring between you and them or what their goals are for the future, remember that moving deeper into connection with them isn't going to create clarity. That's like if you're on a static channel and you crank it to 11, it's not like the clarity comes. You're just going to get more static. So utilizing that pathwork of discernment, being energetically picky, being very fastidious on how and where you put your energy, making sure that you recognize and identify what those manifestation goals are. Let that serve as a way of moving and avoiding away from anything that you may have previously created or experienced that was requiring you to kind of live or exist in a liminal space wherein you weren't necessarily sure what was happening between you and another energetic connection. Thank you so much, Rosemary, for having that reading with me. And if this message connected to you as well, it's very common for those who need these messages to be here to experience them. Everyone, I know that we're reaching kind of the conclusion of our reads for today. I want to thank you guys so much for being here with me today and sharing in these messages. Just a reminder, if you would like to find me, you can find me in a few different ways. If you'd like to book a reading with me, a personal reading, you can book one on my website, graystrega.com. I offer life path readings. I offer as well as mentorship classes around any of the topics or areas of your choosing. Also, if you are interested in becoming a part of our class program, you can find me over on Tarot Church. on Substack at graystrega.substack.com. Tarot Church is a movement that I encourage that allows the utilization of the tarot to uncover universal messages of divine clarity, connection, and understanding, enhancing your personal relationship to your higher power across any and all interpersonal faith practices. As I mentioned, we are having a class this evening. If you would like to join us, that is going to be focusing on the High Priestess card. That will be occurring at 6 p.m. PST tonight, 9 p.m. Eastern. And all you need to do to become a part of that class is become a paid subscriber to my Substack, graystrega.substack.com. And even if you don't become a paid subscriber by becoming a follower to my Substack, you'll be able to receive my weekly newsletter where I give you my schedule on when I am on live to do free collective readings, as well as any new events and offerings that I may be providing. I want to thank you guys so much for being here with me today. I hope you guys have an absolutely beautiful day. And it's such a gift to be able to read for you today. And I hope to be able to see you again soon. Have a beautiful day, everyone, and take care.